Welcome in this tutorial, and I'm going to share on how you can create a table of content for your Word document or your report that you're preparing using Microsoft Word. So sometimes this can be a very painful experience if you don't know what is expected of you. Now in this tutorial we'll discuss about how do you prepare your document before you generate a table of content. I'll show you how to format. I'll show you how to insert section breaks, so that to ensure that the first part of your document is Roman numbers and the rest of the document is numbers. So Roman numbers and then normal numbers. So I'm very certain by the end of this tutorial you'll be comfortable to create a table of content of any document that you are creating. So first of all is to format the document. So I want to take you through this document. It's just a sample document that can be used to help you to understand how to do the formatting. So I'm going to format this document. Now the first part I want to do is to ensure that I have heading 1 and heading 2. So heading 1s, these are the ones that I use for topic, to introduce the topics, and then heading 2 are used to introduce subtopics. Heading 3 is used also like that. So you proceed going down as you define the topics and the subtopics. Now this part, the most of the time, the introductory part, always you just highlight the introductory page and then you can make it to be bold. So it doesn't have much to do in this case. So it's just to have that to be bold, and then make sure that declaration, for example, this declaration part, this is our topic, so it cannot be a subtopic. So you make sure, but you highlight it and then you go to heading 1. So that is our heading 1. So automatically you put a heading 1, it is going to format it correctly to heading 1, and I'll tell you the reason why as we continue. The next one we are going to do is to ensure that our dedication also is heading 1. So I'm going to highlight this section and make it to be heading 1. So that is heading 1. Then we proceed to the next part, that is acknowledgement. Also ensure that acknowledgement is heading 1. Then we go to abstract. Abstract is also a heading 1. So I highlight it and then I use heading 1. And then I proceed to chapter 1. Now chapter 1 is our heading 1. But general introduction, we shall be able to use heading 2. General introduction is going to be heading 2. Now look at this. We have 1.0 and then we have 1.1. So what does it mean? It means that this is a continuation of this. So I can decide to use heading 3 if I want. Let me use heading 3 just to show you what is going on here. So I'm decided to use it heading 3 because I want to demystify topic heading 1, heading 2 and heading 3. So I have only 3 headings. I have topic 1, which is chapter 1, which is heading 1. General introduction is heading 2, and then I have heading 3 to be background of the study. Going forward, down here we have got this. So statement of the problem, I can just make it to be heading 3 also. I want you to see something that will be able to happen here. I also want this one to be heading 3. Okay, so I also want to make sure that this is heading 3. Okay, so that is heading 3. Then also make sure that this is heading 3. I just want to sample it out. Now this one is heading 3 also. Remember, I'm trying to do some form of formatting before I do any other thing. So up to that point, you just proceed with the same. So if for example you come to chapter 2, you need just to put this one to be your heading 1, depending with how you formatted your document. See, this is my heading 1, then I can be able to say that this is my heading 2, and then I can also be able to say that this is my heading 3. So all these headings are within this section of styles. So just pick the one that is suitable for your document. So there are some documents that can only have heading 1 and heading 2. There are some documents that have up to heading 5 or up to heading 4. So if you want to have up to heading 4, you just click on this drop down arrow here. You can see we proceed up to heading 5. Yeah, so depending with the kind of document that you want to prepare, you'll choose appropriately. So up to that point, I'm very sure you have been able to get it, how you are going to make those adjustments in matters to do with the headings. Something else I wanted to mention, that sometimes you also want to you also have figures. For example, I do have some figures here, and I want to make sure that I also capture the figures to be part and parcel of this particular heading. So I want to create a table of the figures. So what you need to do in this case, I have, for example, a figure in this page, and therefore I want to use to label it so that it doesn't bring confusion as we go forward. So allow me to label this figure. So if I want to label the figure, I'll just go to references, and then I go to insert caption. So when I go to insert caption, it is going to ask me, are you talking about a label for figure, or are you talking about the table, or are you talking about the equation? So for this case, I'm talking about the figure. This is a figure, not a table. So I'm going to click on figure. But if, for example, you are dealing with a table, you want also to create a table of maybe to show how many tables that you have generated, you just change it to a table. So you can see at the moment here it will be able to convert to be a table. But at the moment I just want to use what? The figure. So when I put the figure name there, I want it to be figure 1, but I want to mention what is it for. So this one is a V model. So I'm going to use the word V model, so that when somebody is looking at my work, you'll be able to know that this figure is all about what? The V model. So after doing that, I do what? I click OK. Automatically the V model will be able to come down here. So I have another figure down here. I have another figure. You can see we have another figure here. Now in this figure, I want also to use the caption. So I come here. Automatically it is updated to figure 2. But I want also to ensure that it do have what? The name. So for example, the name here I can say architectural design. So I can just write the name architectural design, like that. Architectural design. And then I put what? Okay. Like that. So you can see it appears wonderfully down there. Now next, I just want to show you, because I've shown you the previous part of how to use heading 1, heading 2, heading 3. Now I'm showing you how to use the figures. You go to captions and then you use the figures. Now I'm assuming this is, though this is a figure, so though this is a figure or a diagram, but I'll use it as a table just to show you that you can be able to generate also a list of tables that you do have in your document. So what I need to do, I'm going to use caption, and then I'm going to change it to be a table, so that you guys, you can be able to see how you can be able to also create a list of tables. So I can say this is table 1, and then you can say that a list of functional requirements. So these are table of functional requirements. I'm just giving it as an example. And then after doing that, I do what? I click OK. So automatically the table 1 will be displayed down there. Okay. Now after you have done the formatting, I've not been able to do the entire thing because I've just wanted to demonstrate how to do the headings, and also how to label the figures, and also how to label the table. Now the next thing that you need to do is now to be able to ensure that you create space for your table of content and for your list of figures and the list of table. Now basically that information comes before introductory chapter, that is chapter 1. So between chapter 1 and the preliminary information about the document, that is where you are going to insert our table of content. So what I need to do, I'm going to create space in between here. So I just position my cursor in between this area, and then I'm going to use what? The enter button. So once I click the enter button, it is going to move down. Allow me to do that, unless there is something here that is blocking my... Good. Let me check. Nothing is there. Okay, I'm seeing something like a section break here. So I want to get rid of this. So I just use delete or backspace as I continue up, as I delete the entire thing. make sure that you don't have any section break yet, so that you start from scratch. So allow me to do that quickly. Okay, so I've been able to remove that, and then make sure that you don't interfere with anything else there. So this one is heading 2, I need this one to be heading 1, and then after that I'm going to push it down. Remember, what am I using? I'm using what? I'm using the show and hide icon to show me the hidden formatting features that are in my document. So once I've done that, I'm just going to turn off the show and hide icon, and then I'm going to push now the content to the next page. Remember, I need an entire full page. Yes, an entire full page. Depending with your document, you can leave an entire full page there, so that it can help you to prepare your table of content. Now after doing that, I now want to split the previous section and the next section. Now there's something that you need to understand, that there must be some kind of section break between your table of content and the beginning of your document. Now the previous chapter or the previous section is supposed to be Roman numbers, and the rest of the document is supposed to be 1 up to infinity, the number that you do have. Yeah. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put some section break here, so that sometimes you realize that you need to include the table of content as part and parcel of your table. You need also to include your table of content in the numbering. Yeah. So depending with the number of pages that the table of content will be able to occupy, you also need to include it. So the only place I'm going to place the section break, I'm going to place the section break in this section, in this area, before I start my chapter 1. So what I need to do, I position my cursor there, I go to layout, yes, and then I go to breaks, and then I'm going to use what? The section break next page. So that is where I want to start from. So I click here, automatically it has created that particular section break at the top here. So how do you know that the section break has come? You just go to home, and then you go to show hide, then automatically you see the section break appear there. Okay, and then you go down. Now I want to link the previous section, or the previous chapter, or the previous section from the remaining part of this particular document. So how do you do that? You just go to your footer, so you double click on the footer section, and then you go where it is written link to previous. So when you turn off this, it means that your document is no longer going to be connected to the previous section. Okay, now but something that you need to pay attention so much also is in the area of page numbers. So you need to come to the area of page numbers, and then you need to format. Okay, so I've come to the area of page numbers, and then I need to format this. So I just click there, and then you can see it is saying what? Start from 1. So that is where I want to start from. So if you want to change it to any other numbering system, you can go there and change it to any numbering system here, but I want to use 1 2 up to that number of my pages, so I'll just remain with 1. So there I'll click OK, and then after that it has not yet popped up, so you need to go back again where? To the bottom of the page. So the way I do want to place it, I want to place it on the plain number 2. So I click there, automatically my number 1 is there. So you can see that my numbering is starting from chapter 1. So chapter 1, that is where my numbering is going to start from. Okay, so that is very important for you to acknowledge in this particular case. So it will go up to the number of the pages that you do have, that is up to number 18. Now coming back to my previous pages, now something is very crucial. The first page is always not included in the table of content, because it's like an introductory page, so we need to exclude it. So how do you do that? You just press the section break here, you go to layout, you go to break, you put there a section break. So automatically we have delinked it from the we have placed the section break so that we delink it from the previous section. Then you also come here and delink it. So how do you delink it? Now you come to the page of declaration, in the footer section, you double click there, and then you come and do what? You link to previous, and then you turn it off. So once you do that, this page is not going to be numbered. This page number 1, page number 1 is not supposed to be numbered. Now you go to our numbering or our page number section, and then you go to format. Now we want to change the numbering to be Roman numbers, so I'll click on Roman numbers, and then after that I do what? I click on OK. So once I've done that, automatically I just go to my bottom of the page, and then I click on plain number 2, like that, and then I click OK. So you can see here, the first page is not supposed to be numbered. Okay, so the first page is not supposed to have any numbering there. So let me try to check what might be the problem there. Okay, so there was just an error on that section, but I fixed it. So I've just been able to redo the part for section breaks, and therefore it is fixed, and therefore my numbering will start from Roman 1 in the declaration part of it. So once I've done that, I should be ready now to generate my table of content. I look at it, Roman 3, and then I have also Roman 4 here, and also this page is Roman 5 going down. So you can see the Roman numbers, and then we jump to number 1 as we go down. So what I need to do, I need now to generate my table of content. So this case, I just click here. Once I click there, I go to references, and then I go to table of content. Then I select my table of content. So you can see this is the table of content that are here. So I'll click on the second one, and then you can see automatically the table of content has been generated. Okay, so you can also be able to generate this one to be part of the table of content. So how do you go about it? You just go to home and make sure that this is heading 1. So once you do that, you update your entire table of content. Good. So you can see the table of content is also part and parcel of the table of content is included there. Okay, so you move to the next part, that is the list of figures. So if you want to generate the list of figures here, you just go to reference, and then you go to insert the table of figures. So I click here, and then they will be asked, do you want the list of figures, the tables, or what do you want? So I'll go there, and then I will click OK. So you can see here we have got that. So just click on OK. So you can see automatically there is that table that is available there. So you can see there is a table on page number 17. So you can put some heading there, something to guide you. You can decide to put a heading on top there, so that it guides you on what is expected of you in that space. And then also you can generate the table of figures by just changing the caption to be figure. Change the caption first to be figure, and then you go to insert figure, and then you can see now it has changed to be figures here. So I'll click on that. So you can see the figures that I've been able to label previously, it has been also been included there. So what I need just to do is to add the title, list of tables, again list of tables, and then you put to be the heading 1, and then you go to list of figures, and then you also use what? Heading 1. So like that, and then you save this, and then we go and update our table of content so that it can also be part and parcel of our table of content, just like that. So you can see there is that table of content, list of tables, list of figures, and therefore you have your document well formatted, and also you have your table of content that is well in place. So thank you so much for watching. Kindly make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel so that when I post the next video, you'll be informed. Thank you so much, and bye bye for now.